you go out right now and survey, there's still 300,000 to 400,000 what they call old polio patients still living in America today. I mean, they're all middle-aged like I am. They're still surviving. And there's, you'll find an incredibly large amount of these people are type A personalities, can-do type personalities. And why that is, I'm not quite sure. You'll find these overachievers, if you will, is kind of the norm. And I don't know if it has to do with the way we were rehabilitated. We were kind of the star pupils of the physical therapy business, because you could take this person who had all these muscles taken away by disease and normally rehabilitate them. And of course, back then it was no pain, no gain. I mean, they would just push you to the limits, because they knew if you worked hard, you could get results. Now, if it's pain, you're told to stop. Don't do that anymore if it hurts. But back then, it was a little different. But it was kind of a can-do, you can do anything type attitude. Don't tell me you can't do it until you try. Philosophy that they were just drilled into you. Of course, the one famous for that was Sister Kenny. But it was a way you rehab. It was almost like a Marine. Well, not quite that strict, but it was you were encouraged to try, and it wasn't an option till you tried. It may be you can't do it, but first, but you're going to try to do it. And if you can't, we'll work on a plan B. And that was kind of the way you rehab people. And either that or the temperature was so high when we had polio that it fried our brains. But didn't know any better. But still, you have an industry, and starting with Franklin Delano Roosevelt, of course, was an old polio, and the quickest way to get him to do something was tell him there's no way in the world he could accomplish it. And he'd stay up pretty late trying to figure out a way to do it. And he was pretty successful, but he's atypical. Yeah.
Was he any kind of an inspiration to you, or FDR?
Not at an early age, as I've grown older, and of course I lived in Georgia for some time and participated in what they refer to as a post-polio syndrome study, and I spent a lot of time, or a considerable amount of time, at the Roosevelt Institute in Warm Springs, Georgia, and I had the opportunity to go to school on Roosevelt during that stay and visit the little White House and do a lot of reading. Truly remarkable man, and we'd all like to be like FDR. When I grow up, I'd like to just do 1/100th of what that man did. I mean, his determination here again, his can-do. Don't tell him he is broke. We can fix it some way. We just got to get our heads together. That's the way he approached government. That's the way he approached the Depression. Don't tell me you can't do it. We just got to figure out how to do it. And I think probably a lot of people would argue with me over this, but the fact that he was successful, and the fact that he did gain the confidence of the American people, and the fact his strong motivational ability was probably the way he was, partly anyway, because of the fact he did go through the rehab program as a polio victim. And you didn't tell FDR that he couldn't do something. That was the wrong thing to do. He was a can-do type person.
First of all, let me assert my firm belief that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
He was also smart enough to be aware that the public perception, what the perception people had of those with disabilities, would probably cause him not to be able to do the job. So he did everything in his power during his 3 terms to hide the fact, as far as to the degree his disability had affected him. He wanted to appear to be walking. He made every effort possible to be standing for speeches, and he had to endure what he had to go through to achieve that, just so the perception people had of him wouldn't be changed. That's kind of sad. It's kind of a lot of that has gone away, but it's still there today. It's still there today. Not like it was when he was doing it, but people back then had a hard time seeing a person. They couldn't see by a person's disabilities and recognize the person's true abilities. Hopefully in time, as we get older and we mature as a nation, maybe that'll change.